Moka moile barabu kadamo Dima sadia tuliye kanima dom Makamulim Kibar lebenda barabu kadamo baba Dima katayle tulolo inna baba Washington State ngoluko Ikomo Ngoluko Ikomo Washington State ngoluko Ikomo Ngoluko Ikomo Sa apply no kaniya tere man tara do kola Ikomo Ibe do kola Foy man tara do kola Working family task credit going fele mesilo kan katanyining Signing amoy signing ya moy fanay wuli ya tanyining Sibe sito wuli ya fisiati ko nibe wasentim bankoka Kairo na tay konko bayla ko sino babule tanyining February 1st labe la tila na mugudo wasentim bankoka Na modila la siyade jano bani nyul mankan Fali malonko nyul be ma koy rolela Fali malonko nyul be ma rolela Fali malon nyul be ma koy rolela Fali malonko Washington State yekibaro le natalma oh bejambaro lela Washington State yekibaro le natalma bejambaro lela kodo kuladu na jambaro du malambalu ibato lela kodo kuladu na jambaro du malambalu ibato lela Washington West Africa sentankoli kolaboy Kona a place in Binava Working families tas craving sanyini Kona a place munas in Binava Working families tas craving sanyini Manke don toro tiborola soya tanyini Itado kukila no sign Yena mo kani sign Miliado ku 2022 wala baso kala sign Hani edora kirinde do
Assalamualaikum badingol lube Gambian Talents TV jube kantron kal tentu kalje kala fanan tentu mi alon ka fako atla sabu fo bi fanan to ko murtanan jang an mon be do min mol be jam mi alon ka fako mo lu karim balle ni ko mo de of course a household name in the country here min mi alon ka fako wala mo Haji Suwaneh of course Dodou Jah mi alon ka fako Gambian Talents ke obviously jemi ko kordaldi amin teri ma min adaw makasu bari fanan afane lo ko dan tankel mi cena bari alhamdulillah ala visa ni banta murtanan Gambia ka fodan pe jam binde kacala ku jamala ba wona hakilo ba kontro amin lokun tamira la president Adama Barrow la na la ka fu MPP de rali ba ke non sukura dam to yalan ka ko kuma kalima jamal fodan je alba mo la fodan ron fu ma president ni yalan ka ko ka be murtanan banko kan mi mo de le solo sande ngadi mari Muhammad Sandenti afanan diam ta ko la mi yalan ka on balan president na la bari nana da faya sama amin kito nyaati no kuma jamal ni ko to mi yalan ka ko lebe kerem banko kan nyambe kacala ku jamal la bari namanan ku kala don nga Haji Suwaneh bula ay molu konton and of course aning Dodou Jah ye mol yalji ya program ni janne mbete na jani alama ko so be ko latla inshallah ala baraka baki Haji bismillah welcome to Gambian Talents TV once again
ala baraka baki cameraman ol ngal konton bak technician ol de entire ku ngal be konton kote ke la moir la lo jiber la lo sayinte ngani melbena la jiber ka pro later ni be tempi ni be jay because itele la sababu yatuna kananga sija pour ne bankola kol kacha akola ki fana la mila la moy wala ka karang am kaytol bala wala dama la ba bundal bala ka joto fana la mila muleti bankola ko so once again thank you for having me.
You're welcome and over to Dodou Jah de bismillah
tabaraka pake modu adama en ka funyo kontonna mo hajjeti ibe la be dawda bal tento la bal jeyla ka bula programme no ma TV ni noma ifana mutana janne kacha bankola kola bala ko me alon ko asemol nafa tenturo ni jairo se o kola ngam nanjan ko tek
great mashallah Adam Makasuba
thank you so much Modu and welcome to this program Dodou Jah and then Haji Suwaneh. I think today we'll be dealing with Mandinga and Wolof because my Mandinga is not very strong but become guiding go ahead ak tay mom man dama la ci olaf bi am Modou Diop mom mona la ci société and ñu leen jaajëfal pour seen ñu ko ci programme
jërëjëf Adam Makasuba woro ko mata bakal don dama nan ku kala don ka fala don ka tendo ka je ba woto moto ma la ka taran fi na telephone katina an kan yin programme ni sama de ko dat la sukura la haji dan to yalan ka fa ko president Adama Barrow ay rali baki ani NPP jamal fanko fan wo rali ni manam ni radio be ngoni amang kumaya bawa nata wati le tamin yalan ka fa banko be storing kata ko jamal me yalan president on nyanta ko ke ba dol ko fanan hani bawo UDP fana yara alfa ba bendu na yalan ka fa wala mu amin honorable Alaji Usain Daboti so to wando batanin ko mabkole amin fadia competition olam the call that ning NTV la rally nyete ay nyaaj la this point in time do you think it was necessary to Adam Baro yo rally nyinga wala it was necessary
abaraka bake ñin karo ñi akuma ta bakele na jiro yes rally that is normal wala na political party ka soto pour ka finti enila parti o dingole kacha wo mu ko me alon ko nim parti o yake ndeta ake jawandi wala nta mun jawandi la kule me alon ko aka kele and then political ado le moti banko kanyang wati ni la parti dingole mamman o kono la alse ko kacha men na miroto wala malla parti wala lon kamoti ani men tar na bulla banko la kolto ani alse mo la moyro ko nyola fana political karola ni nga tal be sembe tan lol la den o fana be se kunneje pari na rally men je me alon ka ta sukuta comme ya kufula le foje amen dalon ko di party leader and the flag bearer for the Democratic Party 2026 election ni mel tombong me alon ka telbe nyaton ka la wodo kray excellency Alhaji Usain Kunda Daboti briga akabuna la European Toto party o ya bendundi nyima kala bar bendundiro kola ani banko dingol ni parti dingol kachata na miroto NPP kana rally fanalia the same rally leke pour ni parti dingol kacha na jikibe je yalon ko mol kam fo mo fana la jet dat je comme rally nyinkele comme ka jabir dalet bari rally le me yalon ko manke wolumula rally ti me yalon ko ya wuli wolum kamma bari rally le me yalon ko janni wolum esi bala ko fo kanenu so karufula sabako man to rally ni na ko ba kidimande kam fortunately ako isata ani UDP la welcome comme like ibenta min dole welcome ke nyindo kana rally ke so ndafon la ya wuli UDP la welcome ni ne kam pour ka wole di bon bon sa fo no ngam message o mem moy te la ko to ya mem fo yitel comme la modolu ila kuma kan ulto men fo rally ni to je akata mo jama fe ko ya rally ni ala kuma kan je ye wuli ndike tembendi ni opposition lel kamma den tella karola san opposition party nyaton ko biding anata kuma kawol memfo wol mu kuma kawol den tella jeroto wol mu kuma kan kuma baleti president na opportunity so membe ko men worali min kada sukuda anyanta kam min to min to ko ka jabiro ke wo kuma kan dolla ke senande but instead among mawo mo yala memmo yala baaki wol min to ko ka tari ko fo jomala Usain Dabo bula ni ma bula mo lebe kelala no jomala juma ko mandi Moses la jomala juma ko mandi Nelson Mandela la so nga wole mo irale nyindo bon dala jeroto ala Usain Dabo atem men fo jabiro ulta men kamma president birabe jabiro kala ay wol lamfele kelan théâtre la munole ci ka ke dindi banta bat ningo dindi banta ba men keda indolo men ko di party leader ay kuma kol men raise wala ma bat corruption tapalen nakare tajirinti ala karola masakunda tamandirol anu aya bulo chodi ni masakunda depanso la bunda bella anu kisikisir bunda me alon ko wole be masakunda bulo kono la biya kisikisirol ke ya meitandi ni sanji sabo kono la kodol men kasarata je in fact sanji kilon ko la tande ko billion tan den saba sanji kilon ko la tamandirol final masakunda ka wole ke birinna fulo depanso la karola sunyarol men alon ko lel ketaje anin kasilo bula nin ko sunyaro amanke o billion be tinyata nu sunyarol la parce que kasilo bula yes dépense la karola kasilo bula stara loi la procurement loi men pour ya bla no mais mawo silota wala dépense ko la yakku fo me alon kayto man nano pour ka wo ko nyim fasa wala yakku fo fana wala prix o prix nyim fana birin kiskir la kisiro ge tarajo man traje bri ka fu nyoma atara sankilon ko la billion tang anin saba ko wo dum tanyoto wo kono la akamun ko loi la follow by silo mutabalia anin tapalan nakare la karola ni nata manki wala karola kayto me alon ko le ka wo sandirol ni wo procurement fasa control la karola wo ya manki odi fanko la karola na dépense la karola so Usain Dabo ay kuma ko men di wolal molti anim fana ka ablo chodi ko deke kutandiro ke president la kordala ay damenta masakunda me alon ko ya maboni e ka men ko former chief justice la resident membe bakao is a prime line me alon ko masakunda ya president ya ta ako jebe kala ala fansu kordala ti ning aji ko la president yala so partly la ya happy blandi wolel la I think this yamen atra ko min ko fitting respond ka ko yamen fo nyim auditor la karola kisikirol me yalon ko lel keta na fulo me yalon ko le kasarata hani amang kasara keta nenten so ya explain banko dingole porque nyinga question me anyin karo men dila o banko dingol bela sula ko lelde so na wo dila janita ka fo ko men ntele ngabon ne kasola ngamen kae motina la moyo kare amanke yamen ka ten bar karafo men bete block no la yamu lodu la ta pour ko karafo nyin ka mafa la na yanyu ka mafa ni dépense le ditela wo dépense lo ye dépense nyamen soltaro wo dépense do ka fo tinyaro ko taje nyinga wole nyin karo dila sa ita men ke woyen wo man kuma ya wo la to je men kuma do men to ko sembo me alon ko ibol kono la nata ko itele nyi bondi kasola bar jumala itana sembo to pour yow sembo soto no wala mu ma mawdol o ma mawdol boko la wala men to ko usenda fana blata wala kono la men kata ka finti kasolo sande me alon ko alam yam palama atake sababu de ka finti April 14 ka nyin karoke ana do nyolo kaitan ko electoral reform la o electoral reform ni mun mo to kal farindo ke loi la min ka tafa sansa anin loi ko ton men ko me wo bari biring president o nyin solo sande mbota ngaje ko security li amuta mal handul ala nata min jojo do andol block la solo sande ka finti ka wo freo nyinin ka dead ala nyinin kan ko me baludi wala freo ya dimol la usenda bole o nyaton ka so usenda bole o nyaton ka wala tun banko mamma do ko so ya usenda pana muta ya soron ka sola ya soron mune wala banko la ko o banko la ko nya soro men wala na take kuma kan tete men wa banko dingole wato la ka tan ko wala selote wo selo ya mente a firo ko la ala firi fo nyin amenta atola mal pour ka wo firi fo ta ka domo baro fo kuma kan ay wala so wo firi fo la mo anin pour ka tan fo ko la domoro e putain yo senda bunta ko la itana la president to ko la brigade president ko la sani membe kan wajibo lo men ko transition o janna ka ke membe siring as an outgoing president conditional laje ka tan ko political prisoner be yenda ka bulale o political prisoner lu banko la masakunda membeje wolu ngala baro ya nyato kaya anin di international community ya negotiation nati enim the outgoing president tema inata indol party ka bonni malto bar wolu mulo to in the past sa bir mararo diri ko la wo kola dépense men detail carafol men detail e ka wodo tumi men men yalon ko is an outgoing president ya tumi ni corruption ya tumi tajirinte ya tumi ni banko la soro fengo la pusu basaro la wo kola salang gero ni sotaro na tate fanata ko la ni mo yenyi ka wala I think the best thing is pour ko explain moling ka bondi mole nyoto but kana personally ka no attack
so ninkuma kamata I mean Ocean Lamuto was a blessing in disguise for Barrow for the Gambia in 2016
was a cause for change for the change as far as the struggle for 22 years is concerned Ocean la pinto atnale mol nata ka kekilingoti and mole mi jolo minto ko fonga nyin system mo nyin falin ka nata tumiri ko mo ka fako nyimbe nyine former president jamme be nyine keka no molla but sa frenta a banketa ko solo nyoto ta molle blocal melan ko security forces but fana ko la ko de nyin ka fo mudal mengala UDP alpha ka folti nin ko alpha wolum de executive council ye fana mudal lando ko la ya mon buke membe ko senda bono sifalo fo ye dol ko ngol fara wo ye dol pichol be sa ko kan e frata
Jamal ko Ocean Lamuto walakin falindro natake par Jamal ko ni man Ousainou Fomron to mando baras kino coalition pour resort
Ousainou la mo la falindro keno ta
ko wala foten den Jamal ko ni man Ousainou mutano to mando bara mebe falindro rek
ba man ko wonya men ke tambe wala fono la men ke ta wala
men ni karo la man tra mo le min foka
ngani karo ji understand
Jamal ko Ousainou la muto that will actually trigger the coalition because Ousainou Fom kunno bakale coalition pour la Jamal wala ya tumi wala ite mi alan ka ko mu UDP don mun la kunna mi wori
UDP has ever been in coalitions Jan in 2016. The only coalition you may reject, namelum popular you may reject, wala mu wo not. Ya coalition ya dada ya register. Then registering kola ni londi particular and particularly muka particular form no. So technically lua kono la is a particular the register wala ye ba no. So UDP was ever in a coalition formation. Ya fam. Main sabat wala mintu ko Bankola electoral system at the time among any party favor. 2016, confidence was at Jammeh's side. What overconfidence in Zafon Wole Jammeh caused in 2016? Because there was a lot of transparency in the electoral process. Jammeh was fully competent core. So Ousainou was key. In fact, he was the epitome of the change. Solo sanden pinto kola. Ka finti ka solo sande na pinto nyin ka kana bambandi ko deke wala na molu forcefully mol kafta nyoma pour ka fali woni effect me ala ngol 2016 so credit goes to Gambians who voted for the change.
All right, thank you I mean so much Haji mitala of course honorable Dodou Jah ne fanan ko to dialo bawo president kayla president ba rolling president ba you know rally kera sukuta I mean kuma Jamal Fataja damin yalan ka ko fam he did some political bantering yalan ka ko I mean it became a norm within our political landscape nowadays that the opposition or the maybe they might hit the incumbent do fan the fana wonyo door dala la you know I mean generally what do you make of the president's speech in Sukuta
political ya jen ko political minul be online wala minul molka minul je political la karola comme tol sifa ka media to ka diamo minul be safero la o sifa wol man seya jama balu bi je wol kela moy le kumol men kafo andum kafa nyamen politico dole be konoto do be banta men be konoto wala be incumbent sa membe banta the opposition ke tola a government in waiting it all fanan lafta tarlaje anu ne politiko jibe a Kenya nyo sabolom maralola karola anu nafulola karola sai ni ajibe de incumbent bi atele sembo soto bankola nafulo babulle atele ka depasse ka ajibe kolbe tamala nyame opposition fana wolbe banta il after the same thing ni carte di la foy sitaje ibe wo authority la soto la ka je ko se bobe tarla itol bul bankola nafulo fana itol le ba dundi la ka janjang anyanta dunna jamme ñin debe wolto sa ba jelo ko misal fe ni man sakunda lota e kumol fay at the opposition mol kawo moyle surtout na keta doya kumol ti ka fada ñinul manke fente matu ngabola the ruling party no sa opposition vananka will fay respond aw tipo kajo kan ñinte to ñaati ñinne beje itol fada be sulari molla the septin nebe keri ne opposition lota e kumol fay against the government president wasifa wol fananka lole kaje ko be jabiro kelale ila focus manke comme itol dammate bari molbe lala menna anu menne be tarla molla mentality ñinño sabole bi andu ñimmetale amanke biti sa fo politiko ñanta tala wo ñama nte neñininka ñanta rice la of that ne focus jibe politique momenti maralo momenti wolo ni mol ñanta marla menna wala be maral menna ñin ku flole bije même bije bi abe maralo la même be banta lafta maralo la diamo ñanta telinde la molla menka carte fay imma minul be patiwol kono minul be patiwol bantala ni woli kacha kol membe keri adiamo kasale misal fe nin ko nyimantama munatin na mantama man ko na ñanta fintila fo fere sifa jimale be bulu kaje ko be wol tamandela ñanta ka finti kanani mol kaw kacha opposition fana responsibility bela madama itolom government in waiting ti amanya nakala fairoti damma kamansa kuda doya pour wolie boje ntol ngasi anyanta tambela wala itol fana ka policies ni program sol sotole nyanta ka useless kamol motivate kamol karandi kamol kunindi membe caring anu nyanta kela nyinna batinna mo jama be lala kwa nyin candidate kare wala nyin party kare nyanta carte dila nyinna bari unfortunately ntol la politique mantawo nya mo moye platform soto dora ka useless ka jeko be mol attack la kamunta ko bi ninte sita jang nga tol commanding ka opposition attaque kaja fike doya itol fana ne platform soto de ko respond nyim kule bije mo jama me aje ko kari ka to commande ay nyinne fo a sita dula dolto aya fo aya man sakunda ata wala e mokile andu nyim meta jambake bari kulo mi alon ko nyanta falenna menatin na politique wulta menatin na politique la Kenya be wala nyama bari Gambia ka Kenya men ni ko hani alkana nyim fo alkana nyinke alaketeng ase ke sababoti ye fo mo jamala parce que kumol men ka fo mol selano wala ka je ko okay yara fa nyinul man tarafen fo wol finance finde ka fo hani be fenna be nyinna ne aje opposition ka nyinke alafta nyinna nyin ño sabonte ngaje wala.
What do you think should be the way forward? Because we cannot continue like this. But we got democracy, but that does not warrant us to be doing this political bantering online. Let's talk about policies and programs. What do you think needs to be done to avert what's currently happening within our political landscape?
The way forward, nyanta kela wala mbafolo la mansa kunda la karola nie platform soto pore ni mole kacha nteka fole ku nabe internet to inin dunia bele be kacha kan dunia bele bajela not at once bare akatara jela saji jama andu hani dol me alon ko wol mangulu saji imam mabe content ni nabije na meta wol be wulla ye men for the same information taraje woto newa platform soto misal fe minister nabe diamola atela maralo bundamu menti na misal fe agriculture ay tandi molla ila achievement challenges e men soto ibe mina kala pour kajal that's also part of politics ne aje ye appoint van ke minister of agriculture example political latin is a political appointment so all the time and we te be sirin jela manke ila patio damma bari banko be diamo on those basis natara there are issues men jarta pour ye we koindi abela faje ando ni political platform abe buka fono jefa mo time le kadi misal fe ko mo minute rule ya lawo man se abete fono la nyinna nyanta kala On the other side, opposition fanang, amanya na kela dorong kamansa kunda atake kumandi tolla be keri ne ibebu kake, bari dolu kakele, ka president kumandi kafa ko fode dusuba, wokuma sifa. Hanna tarate man jabiroke, bari remolbe fintila itevana ye tolle ye kang, and fanang ke tonya kumadonna. Bari as an opposition, inyanta government mutala ke hold accountable, checks and balances. Misal fe budgeto la karola ya analyze, ite ha jenyameng, shortfalls bedameng. Bari natara bunda dolbi je government ya katabake, je fanama. Bari sometimes opposition hanni aje ko jammu proselati pour man sakunda itafola. Itolla objectivity momenti, wolom ka negative kumul nati, iboita dame la mistake menti, kom nga fo dame doro, atelebe konoto, ate bojen defanang, nga replace defanang ye mansaya. Nyen sometimes wala ka ket difference. Itata banku doltu, yela opposition party or mol minul be opposition la karola. Yela moy wol. Sometimes ite ba mera ko nying, ya mera nyim amalla fi pour kasaw, to the ruling party. Wonte, banku kuolo sometimes ikela party landile ye national issues jube ka call analyze bari woka doya bake party nyaton call dobije anytime ye platform sort of is a modoya kamo attack and the mentality fana nyanta ye momo ko to kumandi ya attack ate fana na platform sort of this thing abe wala murunda mol kanyina nyin but moving on nyanta banko le tambinde la biyo ntolla fansung hajolla na party la hajolla banko force the ni campaign wato sita ndeka expect wo wato la okay nyo sabo le be sharing then what time was certain tactics me alonko aman lo watinya nse wol siandi pour ka donding kono
kumata bakal Haji, do you share similar sentiment? If so, we can come in and ask.
Yeah, I think it's the same. We expect that Green President will platform also. He should have more on issues to clarify, transparently for against the government in Minnesota. But it was President response was personal. It was personal against opposition, and you could see it. Any minister, opposed minister, each minister have take a role to throw a stone on one political leader. Ismail Assise, the minister, was on both the parties, like in fact, including Taliban and SFL. Ahmad Ba, the same thing, also throw stone. So they arrange themselves in terms of attacking personalities instead of responding to issues of national concern. Because BBB intelligent ni ante nyininka B, mengana kumata nyimbanko kono B, mengana kumata. The recent audits me along the minister he present to the National Assembly. Wo audit a serious concern le race. So and each ministry in this government is affected. So one minister will need a platform of coming like war. Will need to main amplify it. To build trust. It will multi-million dealer. Because if you talk about policies, without bringing measures, me along is going to be protective to the resources of the public resources. I come to the policies about for dollar, but materialize in terms of implementation. So until you do member, exactly I agree. Opposition for Nibenala, you should come up with policies, programs, issue based. What do you have as an alternative? And I think to reference the party leaders welcoming at Ewolek. In fact, when he mentioned the corruption, I remember a UDP government will go against corruption with zero tolerance. And in fact, I held sector in mention, education for mention, and I meant to reference about the amendment. What you have Bangkok, Gambia doing board. Will as they will in Yeda for Yeda Gambia protocol because they have everything has a basic needs are concerned. Will be below Bangkok, but back home here, woman trajang. So it's an unmanageable, they cannot relax. So that means that the UDP's stand is how do we fight to bring a Gambia government or Gambia as a country to that standard? Wow. But without having a serious government, is putting those concerns into a practical policy implementation. So I agree with him that definitely we need to have a different way of politics rather than being as a the personality attacking Gambian goal. I think we should do away with it.
Absolutely.
We should focus on things that is at a common interest. Daily life affect negatively.
That's very important. Makasuba, do you want to comment?
Yeah,
Yes.
just to buttress on what Dodou and Haji just said about the trend of politics in this country. We've seen that the government and the opposition, both sides, mostly they engage on attacking each other on social media anytime. You go to social media, sometimes You even say to yourself, okay, do I need to stay on social media? Because you will only see people attacking each other. You don't see people bringing policies and programs that one can say, okay, maybe if the opposition come to government, they can bring development. Or whether if the government stays there, they can also bring development. So that area also, I think both sides should improve on that. If you call yourself a government, you shouldn't waste time on social media responding to every criticism. You can take criticism to upgrade some of your points. Not that if the opposition criticize you, mean they hate you. They are just pointing out your errors. It's even better for them to point out your errors and then you can improve on that. And also the opposition also, like, you should also spend time on social media, 24 hours criticizing people without bringing policies. But with the trend of the politics now, the election is just approaching. We can say only 12 months left. So Haji, as a member of one of the major political party in this country, we've seen that, okay, many are saying that, okay, with the movement of Talib has shifted some of your members' focus on the government. They directed all of their focus on Talibs. So with this kind of things, what are you guys doing to address this this kind of politics that some of your people have been accused of doing on social media?
Generally, Gambian politics, the trend we are now, you cannot be able to control every individual. But what we definitely advise ourselves at the executive level, for us, we have no problem with Talib. The only problem this country is facing today is the underperformance of the government, and then which is occurring because of what we perceive as corruption, and then which is endemic in this government. It's rampant, not only that, but endemic. So as a party that is yearning to be in government, what should we do to stop that menace from negatively affecting lives and livelihood? So our focus more is on Barrow as an executive member or as executive of the party. So this is going to be differing from maybe the wider population, because they are bigger than the executive, and you cannot bring every individual's opinion to your opinion. You cannot bring every individual desire to your own desire. What you can do to ensure that you keep mentoring people who you are able to inspire, to show them that, look, our problem is the one who we entrusted power to. And this is the person who is in charge of our resources. The budget is in his hand. Currently, there is a budget that is presented to the National Assembly. In that budget, you have only debt servicing is more than, if you in combination of health, education, and agriculture. $13.5 billion is allocated to debt servicing for the year to come. So you combine health sector, you combine it with agriculture, education. These three vital sectors is only is below the resources or the funds allocated to service our debt. What are these debts in for? Why is this debt not in productive sectors like agriculture and let's say agriculture and education? So why is government prioritizing not introducing fiscal discipline? Why is government focusing on increasing debt burden on citizens without investing in sectors that might improve our lives and livelihood? Why is the dollar depreciating over the CFA? Why is the euro, the dollar, going up, but the dollar is depreciating day by day? So for a party like UDP, this is where we focus our energy, and that's why maybe most of the executives, if you are looking on their social media postings, you will not see them attacking Talib. You'll be saying things, yes, that if we think is need to clarify, we will clarify them. We will come to the public and then make sure that we put our opinion on matters that we are allegedly been accused with. But that doesn't mean that we are holding Talib as a problem. But although information is key, and if we are to misinform, members will be there to clear the air. That doesn't mean that personally we are attacking him. Although I will repeat, the general view of the people cannot be the stand of the UDP. For us, our focus mainly is the government that is in power, or what alternative do we have? And this is why our policies are publicly published transparently for every individual to get access to. We do not only stop it on publishing it, but we keep emphasizing this thing in our gatherings, in our house to house, in our Bantaba meetings. We keep telling people that the 5-point agenda that the UDP have is the solution to address the agricultural sector. But because if you go to the Maputo 2002 agreement, you'll find there, these are intellectuals, experienced leaders, people with expertise who agree that if you invest your budget annually 10% of that budget is invested or directed to agriculture, that country will do away with poverty. That country will do away with unemployment. That country's economy will stand. So that agreement, UDP respected. That's why we are able to incorporate it in our 5-point agenda. You go to the education sector, the same thing. We prioritize education not only introducing skills, no, but we also say if you go for skills training, but without having resources, at the end of the skills training, you are not able to, back yourself financially. It's going to be difficult to encourage young people to go to that skills training sector. So therefore, we have in our 5-point agenda that there will be a scheme, mandatory, through the National Assembly, parliamentary, parliament legislature, that that scheme will be there for young people to ensure that even if you are a dropout, you can go to that particular financial area to ensure that you get what you need with a reasonable a reasonable repayment system that can encourage many young people to ensure that the unemployability of young people is reduced. So you go to agriculture, you go to education, fisheries sector. All these things is addressed in that 5-point agenda. We not only stop it in English, but we translate it into Arabic. That means the UDP is ahead of these, personal attacking politics. But the UDP's position cannot be the position of every citizen. Some citizens will have their own way of addressing these issues, but that does not communicate that it is the UDP that is doing it.
Okay, Dodou Jah, you are still a member of APRC, which is in alliance with the ruling government.
Mm-hmm.
Recently also, we've seen you at the Talib's event, the UMC, and many people are saying that, okay, you are now supporting Talib. Can you just clarify these things? Are you with Talib or still with the APRC alliance with the ruling government?
I'm still a member of the APRC party. I've resigned from my executive position, but I've not left the party. And I cannot be in two political parties, being a member of APRC, and I also become a member of the Unite Movement for Change. I was invited to attend the launching. Talib is a brother, he's a friend, not only Talib, many amongst them. In being a politician, I work with most of them, share ideas, help them even to at least draw or organize activity plans. Not only Talib, there are other political parties that I do the same for. They reach out, I meet party leaders, we discuss, share ideas. That is Dodou Jah for you. I put the country's interests above my personal or my party interest. But when it comes to politics, of course, I go to my party and I do politics. So I'm not a member of the movement. Members are registering in the movement. I have not registered, and I've never announced that I have left the APRC.
So with the election coming, are you guys still maintain that alliance with the ruling government? I know it is still on.
Yes.
But for you personally, which side are you going to?
Well, it's difficult to predict the way APRC operates. It's a political party, well structured. It has a constitution and it has its own action plan. What we normally do, of recent, the party is engaged in organizing political activities. In 2 days' time, even have a fundraising, a gala dinner. After that, the KM region are organizing another rally. After that, the youth wing, they also have an activity. Then the party executive will go on a tour to consult the structures, to consult them about the alliance issue. It is the people that will decide. If they tell the executive, you can go ahead for another alliance, then that's what the executive would do. If they said they don't want or they don't need another alliance, then the executive will ask them, what do we do? And they will make the decisions. And what is proposed for now, there'll be an extraordinary Congress by next year, 2026. That's where everything will be decided, alliance or no alliance, flag bearer, or if it is going to be alliance, alliance with which party, all that will be outlined. This is the way the APRC operates. The executive, they're just a handful. Countrywide, the diaspora inclusive, they're just about 50-something compared to the thousands of people within the party. So they cannot impose on the people and say, we are going to do this. If the people say, no, we're not supporting you, then only a handful will be going for alliance. So politics is strategic. Politics, is dependent on the grassroots. That's where the numbers are. That's where the structures have their foundations. So nobody should joke with grassroots. You need to open up, get them involved, and allow them to make the decisions. Then you will use those decisions as a guide in whatever you want to achieve in politics. This is how the APRC operates.
Okay, United Movement for Change is seen as a threat to the National People's Party, the government. In case Talib offers you a position or his movement offers you a position before the 2026 election, can we see the just shift alliance to Talib's movement?
Well, first, the issue of the movement being a threat. A lot of people downplay it. In politics, you don't close doors. Honorable Ahmad Ba, Minister of Local Government, he has experience in politics. He's been there for far too long, not now. And I agree with him based on his observation, his analysis. Do not just jump to put things under the carpet. It doesn't work that way. There are so many political movements in this country. Others are aspiring, though not yet registered. Others have not even made themselves known to the public. We're seeing flyers. We're seeing, few short video clips. They're trying to show what their intents are. And people have not listened to Ahmad Ba. Maybe clearly the drive or where he's driving at. He has used 2016 as a yardstick, where we had 3 candidates. That was the incumbent Jame, the coalition 2016, and Mama Kande also as an opposition. So normally you have 2 sides, the incumbent, the opposition. Kande came and created a third option. You don't want the incumbent, you don't want to vote for the coalition, here I am. That's a third option. And this is what Ahmad Ba is eyeing for. Like I highlighted, UDP is the biggest opposition party in this country. Nobody can debate that. There's the incumbent in an alliance. Now, the United Movement for Change is a breakaway from the UDP. They did not say, okay, we will continue with the UDP, but it's a breakaway force with a different style of politics. Whether people like it or not, you don't treat them as underdogs. They are opposition, but not with the main opposition, and they are not with the incumbent. They want to be where the incumbent is. They have created third option, whether people like it or not. Now, of recent, they're everywhere, in every region. They're registering people at a very fast rate. What do they uphold next? Maybe to come up with a political party. It's a stage, it's a step, whereby the numbers are not decreasing, it is increasing towards election. So you don't downplay that. And look at the type of people that are with the movement or joining the movement or sympathizing with the movement. These are people that are well reckoned with when it comes to politics in this country. And a lot of them are sitting on the fence. They're not saying yes, they're not saying no. So it could twist anytime. Ahmad is looking at this holistically, that it could create something. And in case they decide now and said, we're not going to contest, we want to support a party, they're adding weight to that against the government. And that is the threat. All these numbers they are gathering, if they decide and said, we're not contesting, we're going into an alliance, or we're on there endorsing a candidate, that would add to the numbers of that alliance, political party, or a candidate. Isn't that a threat? Yes, it is. Maybe the threat, to what extent? You can say, okay, the threat, it's minor. Okay, the threat, it's not going to affect you, but it is a threat. Now, on the other hand, the president would not just want messaging to go to the masses that here's a threat, they're growing very fast. It could attract some people to say, okay, then let me join that movement. He has to downplay it and say, in fact, they're not the threat, I am the threat. That is good politicking. You're trying to shift the dimension and the discussion, and you want to be the focus. That was cleverly done. Both sides, you don't downplay, they're making it. Now, coming to what you are asking, the movement comes into being, they give me a position, will I accept it or not? The question is, where will I see myself at that time? Now, for instance, where I belong to, they're not in need of Dodou Jah, they don't care. There's nothing important I can play. I'm not saying I'm going to the movement. I'm not saying that I would join another political party. I would sit with people. People, in a sense, I work with a lot of people, thanks be to Allah, I have a following, whether they are many, they are minor. You just don't make decisions on your own. You need to engage them, sit with them, listen to their advice. You would want anywhere you go with the numbers. Dodou Jah alone, only has 1 vote. But there are people maybe who like Dodou Jah, who believe in Dodou Jah. They want to be where I am. A lot of them tell me, wherever you are, we're behind you. So you consider them. I cannot make a personal decision. I'll have to engage them. But for now, I'm APRC, I'm with the Alliance, and I have so many things I would want to add up to what is already happening. Unless things turn differently, that's the status quo right now.
Yes, thank you so much, Dodou Jah. Baraka Bake. I mean, we're supposed to talk about that, of course. President Olatoning is coming next week, you know, and also, I mean, the late loss handling, the Mamin Kata Muhammad. Afanan dia muda kaitan diko, inko mafanan be victim wala kono. Bawo afama min jura da jamela maroro ni kono. Akama mbalang jamela nala bari, ni jamela nanjang, ni nyanta ke wala muka titin. Haji. Last week nyanta ke sunya bari mi so sunya, ni la ni ka mu la kunna ni jamela ko abinala Gambia banko nyin kanyen podong ay trade post la bang fama post because jamal pa o ko nyin e ba ri dukul kane ba down play kan kay de ko jamela o kuma kensi mo da bu ko kuma fa al hawa kon don amuno hajila kunna miro jamela o kalimo nyin da ka ko nyin da nyin karo min ko November ka binala Gambia ba
Anyway, it is Jammeh's right to come to Gambia. That one is no. I don't know what government will do because I'm not in government. And I can't express my opinion widely on it because TRRC has already happened. The Jana Commission, Akatal Faparet. So these are things me along ko ibe suffering fence wall bala mobi nyabala. So I think it's going to be for me a waste of time to talk about Jammeh here. One thing I'm all to call there will be economic consequences because Jammeh pronouncement it can affect tourism. It can affect tourism. The way I saw the security tightening up at the airport. That's a threat to tourism. So that's the only thing I can say. But apart from that one, for me, the only problem I have today it is Adama Barrow, not Jammeh.
You don't take it as something very genuine.
If there's any threat, that's economic threat.
Wow.
But the problem that Nimbanko main face be Adama Barrow.
But one may tend to say Jammeh had influence still in the country, especially within the security apparatus and all that.
I don't want to meso Jammeh's influence, his powers, abilities. For me, I think my problem today, as a Gambian, as a citizen of this country, is this Adama Barrow. So I don't have anything to talk about Jammeh. All what we should talk about Jammeh, millions are invested in that. We are millions and what process or no procedure will be jailed. And I'm not that person to implement. So if Jammeh na ko abina yung bangko kan na jam, hindi ngamen jiji me along ko is a threat to me. Wala mo tourism about affect lala because Jammeh being the former president, amambo jang Cairo kono la kabe na jam ko reke. So you expect that people who are coming here they will have travel advices from their governments. They will have travel whether you know or not. Tourism be affect lala. But apart from tourism, if you ask me about any problem or any it is Adama Barrow.
Security risk and all that.
No, I have no security threat to talk about Jammeh. If I have security threat in this country, it's Adama Barrow.
Wow. But why do you keep accusing Adama Barrow?
No, I'm not accusing. I'm talking about facts. This is somebody who left the country. TRRC happened here. Jammeh Commission ketara jam. So we'll be a member for y'all. The security reform, security sector reform. Yes, we are the mercy of a system. Calmly, but the reform that those millions are invested in, what reform you monkey? And reform monkey the Kapogan somebody bonded the manat, or monkey reformed it, or monkey reformed. Reform me on Ganyaka, including Lua Nyanta Kapani, Lua Many Alonco, one movement Boku Kate Bambu, Dolel Komakake, and with impunity Mota Kuburaje. Yapam, Wuluaking will be the hand signing. Me along security come bambuno komakake. So if I say Jammeh is not my problem, it means that Jammeh is not in charge of my laws.
Yeah, I understand.
Jammeh is not the one in charge of my laws. The one me along go will reform agenda nati and deviated, reneged from the promise. Me along a new promise on he is my problem, not Jammeh.
So ibata yamar la buna bimbe Jammeh la because Jammeh la kuma biradi amda. I mean, one may say ko Jammeh kenda hala kura, but at least Banco Mama because I influence the former president now.
No, and I don't want to go to that area whether he has influence or not. I mean, what I can say here, clear. What I mean to go, Barrow is my problem.
Wow.
On all areas, women focus. Barrow is the problem.
Okay, Honorable Dodou Jah, last week you actually brought us a little bit, but I take a problem definitely. You shed some light on it. I mean, what do you make of Jammeh's overall comment on Bangkok and security-wise? Because you understand, he still have influence in this country. You know, I've seen people and all. Yeah.
Influence, of course, I also do that. me along ko hanai audio bondi. Even the international media, they'll feature it and they discuss about it. That's what you call influence. Influence in a sense, nako molyo ko alta kanilai, albenji. You see thousands of people going. That is influence. Ndeselo no nga mol kumandi mol tendangkuna, which means I don't have influence. But the influence, or akamol move like. You know, Yamba has that tactics, and you can't undermine him. Somebody who's been in leadership for 22 years, that is not 22 months, weeks, or days. It's been a very long time. He's well connected with, you know, current leaders, former leaders, I mean, presidents, and those who serve at key positions. So you can't say, you know, Yame doesn't have that. Of course he does. And he left this country peacefully. Peacefully in a sense, there was no fighting. You know, he was escorted to the airport. Fact, the national anthem, all that, you know, took place, and he left without any fighting. Though at some point in time there was fear amongst people, to the extent some left the shores of this country, you know, moved to neighboring countries like Senegal. Thousands of people who left. That others would see it as a threat. Well, security presence doesn't signify threat. You go to countries like India, you go to their airport, you see the military, well-equipped arms and guns, and they, you know, patrol, they walk up and down. You know, it depends with the country how the security is fine-tuned. You come to the Gambia example, they'll tell you, okay, the military, let them confine at the barracks. Go to other countries. Even at the airport, you see the military patrolling. People who've traveled or been to India or have maybe transit through India, they can attest to it. You go to other countries, the same thing. And these are issues that people must not downplay. But like Haji said, there's a government in place. They have their own plans. They do their cabinet meetings. They're in charge of the security apparatus. They know how to handle the issues. But on the side of security sector reform, the process is still ongoing. Absolutely. There are changes. So many institutions that their policies have changed based on the security sector reform. Even us at the inter-party level, we had a training which was funded by the UNDP. We had a training with them. At some point in time, at the prisons, they organized trainings for them. But when it comes to the military, you know, even the PIU, there are changes compared to before what used to happen, especially when it comes to the military. It's not complete. They've not given the Gambians what we want to see yet. But the process is not over. There's something, a lot of funds being pumped in. Still, the sponsorship is coming from the international community. They have offices. They are working with governments. They are working with NGOs. They are working with civil society. So it's an ongoing process. Even there's a committee whereby it is set up. You have government officials. You have civil society organizations. Somebody like Said Matijau. You know, we had when we had this training, he came on board and he highlighted some of the achievements and the role that they are playing in order to foresee the security sector reform. If you ask me, the process is very slow. A small country like Gambia, we could have rapidly had so many achievements and a lot of changes to take place. I'll agree with Haji. Just changing people in positions, you don't call that security sector reform. A lot need to be addressed, a lot need to be tackled, and Gambians should have that, should feel that impact in them, that definitely this is the reform we were yearning for from the security sector, and it has happened. But still there are challenges. There's no perfect system government, you know, or institutions that we set up, but I believe we can do better. Hence it's a process. We'll get there someday.
But do you believe that do we still have police brutality in the country?
Of course it is happening. Our security forces are not perfect, but they've improved a lot compared to so many issues that have been happening in the past. We need to be honest. A lot of people today, they're not kept beyond the 72 hours. We've seen a lot of people being taken to court, you know, being prosecuted, etc., compared to in the past. But still, those tactics are there where somebody is arrested. They keep transferring them from one police station to another, you know, from one location to another. These are tactics that the security is using. And sometimes publicly, we're seeing their reaction, the way they talk to people, you know, the way they shout and expressing all that. I think, you know, attitudinal change is also very important. You wear that uniform in order to protect lives, in order to maintain peace, in order to create that understanding between the civilians and those in uniform, like community policing. Theoretically, a lot is written, but practically when there are issues, you see it diminish. We are seeing the way they're using tear gas. I've been emphasizing it. To some point, I keep asking, how much does tear gas cost? I have to go online to make some research. I see different type, different prices, because sometimes I feel its usage, it's been abused or wasted. You cannot just be throwing tear gas at an individual, or to be throwing it blindly at a compound you don't even know what is there. So these are issues that they need more training, I believe, and I believe the leadership too need to engage them. And of recent, we've seen they're using recruits a lot. You know, we're not saying they're not well trained, but the experience lacks, and professionalism is a challenge. It should be a blend. And when you use them, you should be the ones to guide them, tell them what to do, and do it in a manner that people would not see them otherwise. To the extent some civilians are beginning to see the security, you know, as an enemy. You even see them on the street. You don't want to give them lift. As far as they're wearing the uniform, you're seeing them differently. And I think that mindset needs to change. But security too need to upgrade the way they handle these protests, etc., so that the community will feel that they are serving us. They are not against us.
Okay. Good. Haji, la command them faje wato mang jam fa bage.
Yeah. Meme faje wala min joko. Yeah, security come at mercy of some of their leaders. But you know, if you talk about reform, men kumada wala muwati. I've been talking to a lot of these security, particularly their heads. If I come in Kumbolo, they want those laws to change. But policy makers, the politicians there, don't want those laws to change. Because and you, in fact, if you say police brutality, this is just 3 or 2 months ago, Mandanari. The young lad, Mr. Baji, mutaje malhandle whatsoever case it is, but mutaje fan you. I was there.
Allegedly, yeah.
I don't even call it allegedly. I'm not
going
into the nitty of the
You can use allegedly.
Yeah. Okay, let me just use allegedly. Allegedly, yeah, understand. But this thing happened coincidentally. I went to the family, the witnesses, but since it is at the court, I will use allegedly, which into death. Yeah, so, but you look at even the president, look at the last rally that he mentioned. You know, security sector reform does not only mean that you are the military, the police, the SIS. No, you know, job security matters. President Oko, in fact, MPP la campaign manager, next campaign manager, Alcalo led. Abekala safe led.
Wow.
You know, because who appointed Alcalo? That's the question he raised to the Alcalos. Means that the appointing officer can be the firing officer. Yeah, fam. So that is threat to job security. Now the Alcalo may along supposed to become a lawyer. We already at the primary school level.
But back then Alcalo wanted to go.
Another job by then. If you want to compensate them,
politics.
no, they are doing politics. But what do remember? The rate and tax, they get 10% of it.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
No, rate and tax. Yes. But Nindo, recent one is a baby function because I'm a but Menku Mara job security matters. But in Bangkok can be there's no under Baroya accused Nola. In fact, he even banned some alcalos for receiving data 5,000 or 10,000 commissioner from any land sales. Alcalo got from Fajan. You go to, I think, is it around Old Yundum from Alcalo?
A few months ago, Hamad Ba made pronouncement ko Alcalo.
That one is Tujering and
Exactly.
So the president took up a platform again. He said that those alcalos and safos are going to be the distributors of his campaign Asobi. In fact, they are going to be his campaign manager up to the level of the Attorney General.
Wow.
And Minister of Justice. He said they are all going to, be his campaign. No, let's not say he's a minister appointed. I understand.
You know what a campaign manager is.
Yes.
You know, that is a statement, a political statement.
No, but
he's trying to mobilize support and to create
but in reality,
remember,
actually,
campaign manager. You're talking about campaign manager. You can campaign for the president. Campaign manager.
Professor, campaign manager. It is to monitor, to supervise, coordinate, and manage the political affairs of a political party.
Not only
so
that.
Alcalo, this meeting, I was in Fonyi. Let me say, I was in Fonyi. I spoke to Alcalos. They were tasked to bring each of them minimum 5 people with this Sukura meeting. This was come Alcalo for me. Alcalo, let me tell you, because they want to be absent, so they have to tell the CFO I am sick. I cannot go.
But is that from the president?
But the president confirm it on the platform.
No,
That is not touch them to be the
platform. And the reality of the Garan could be different.
This is not different.
The president and the political party, these are two different things at some point.
And even Alcalo is supposed not to be involved in it. Alcalo is not travel from Basse or from even Nemakunku to come and attend a rally at Sokoto.
Alcalo should be independent.
Alcalo is supposed to be welcoming the president at Nemakunku when he's in Nemakunku Alcalo.
Yeah.
Just to open the gate for the president or any other visitor, any opposition leader to welcome me on at the platform in Libantaba, then move at Alhajola. Now, why I'm seeing but I to be neutral. Let's not remember.
Political
they are zealous of disputes.
Jama balone APRC la time even APRC but be all cover kombe NPP.
But there's no promise mental on 2016 Granata. Now fulfill Alcalo will not have the courage. But I found out so Ninko, he's our problem means that traditional members in against today. I found a promote.
Ibe mantara NPP fanande.
No, Hannibal for
Ben Alcalo dollarne.
Hannibal for Alcalo
party dollar.
No,
the president Fintita is our president.
But 80% will be a mobilization of the president.
Okay.
I crisscross this country. So we crisscross this country.
But it all final like for control ni mansala.
That is obvious. Partisan is too different.
But
Alcalo Mansality. Because Alcalo is in charge of a village. In fact, he serves as a jury in the village. Regardless of the political. So when that person saw a partisan color, Modobe obe MPP later from the UDP. New warning MPP ko promotion ni naraje ita kito could do with that person get that as a trusted judgment. As Koreano. So their roles itself complicated the matters of them taking a partisan political role. Kake Mansali, that is obvious. Mansala Muiti, traditional Mansala Muitelti, Sadal Konola, they are the grand heads of the heads of the villages. But that doesn't mean that they should involve themselves into partisan politics. The governance of the village, Yantaka Wole head. Then to settle disputes before that dispute go to another level. But when that person now is a partisan politician or partisan political actor, the trust is going to be undermined.
But again, at some point, I mean, is their constitutional right?
It's not their constitutional right to partisan political court because the constitutional court, it is their right to vote for any person they know. But it is not their right. It's a violation of the constitution to show a political partisan color. That's not constitutional. That's contrary. It's contrary to both local government act and even the constitution.
Now let's wait. I mean, time on you fella bitakan. Kana o prolong. I mean, the president nyanda kala to ke miyalanga ko bankula luala sembo nyina. I mean, but over the years, Jamal Kafako, the president when toke instead of to address pressing issues, akatala to in fact do a campaign. And in political rally campaign, I think the guy campaign because I'm president of campaign process at the same time. Then we are probably opposition pushing out Haji. But also next month. I mean next week rather.
Monday,
inshallah. Mwana wekela ya maro and yet to njanya ajile.
To nyinte general inte jila kono baate. But in some point the whole ko. Then ngaji nyamele se waste of resources.
Bankola
is a Mapo. I'm not saying what the constitution says. Mapo is unconstitutional. It's a waste of resources. Remember that constitution, it was around 1971 constitution. At the time, Silo me along ko bota basi kata sabi. Abinyadi le. Motol meni along ko wole sorota. Internet benyadi do longa. Radio station benyadi, television benyadi, social media benyadi do tumo. And the president need to get first-hand information from my village. The people living there, Sare Perasu. I understand.
Okay.
He's not only depend on the minister's reports, the permanent secretary report. I found my target to get that direct access and connection with the citizens. The concern definitely genuinely provided that tool with the people because of that purpose.
Wow.
But in the modern world we are today, I can tell you, Baroka cannot prolong because he's having a meeting on the 15th in my village. He cannot prolong
would you welcome him though?
If I said he's not good, I'm against the constitutional mandate.
Okay.
I'm not against the tool. I'm saying the need and the purpose of the tool for me is a wastage. Because that's not going to be problem MBJ. Baro knows those problems since 2019. since 2019. 2018, 2019, I alone. The first of it was bringing the council election of Banta. I faced it at Mankamankunda with the community leaders. Any problem in that ward, Sabi ward, na bill highlight higher. The second thing is after the council election, my village, we form an association. What association of 2016, Wolemunu Ikapoenko, 4 villages coalition 2016. In Sarahule, the Bunahati coalition 2016. What Saturday coalition 2016, we turned it to be a development association to call the Bunahati Community Development. We registered it. So bring our register. What happened is in the Saturday Silolu and in Kuranko, problem, we put them in a written format. We send it to the president and send one to Bailamin Job and NRA at the time. You understand? Barrow knows those problems, and that's the time. If you Bailamin Job a declaration of Kakapol, there's no feeder road. In fact, all roads are treated as major roads. You understand? The off roads.
Okay.
Off road. So NRA will tell you that Silo Suma. Telling a little. Didn't Sabi, Sarapra Kata, Baniko, Kumbija, Kata Baniko, Kata Tuba, Katafo, Giroba Kunda, Kaponek Basela. The road is around 24 or 26 kilometers. But therefore, initiative the Kausilo Takadala. So if I tell you Barrow knows the problem, the 45 million, because this account that was approved. National Assembly 45 million approved. I'm not saying the correct one is at 52, but the one approved is at 45. You all approve. So what 45 when you come and spend already, you could minimize it. Yeah, fam. Before you go with the ministers, the permanent secretaries, every region have a directorate. You know, you have the director of agriculture, education. In Bebejel, at the regional level, you have regional youth councils. Yeah, fam. In Bebejel. So if you are going for this kind of tour, minimize the delegation in Memetaka. To ensure those funds, you can redirect them. Because already you got that information. But maybe cooking for people to be privileged, they can be happy about it. They can be excited.
Wow.
That the president also visited my village. But you should get the bigger picture. What I mean to go, can't I invest it? That village, maybe a woman is there, is struggling to even have a jimbo, you know, to use as like a condiment. Okay. There as the president, I have the body, the obligation on me to provide those welfare for them. Before I spend 45 million on a tour, why can't I reduce it to around 6 or 8 or 9 million dollars? Don't tell me that you are traveling with soldiers, they need allowance. You are traveling with police, they need allowance. You are traveling with civil servants, the coupons around. You make it so bulky, just what? To get that crowd for a political purpose. Wow. But if it is the purpose of development, I think the best impactful one, the social welfare of the people, those millions can definitely be reduced at a size. The rest can be redirected. But one thing, there are people are going around. To welcome the president. Really? Billahi wallah. I'm saying it before the TV, and I don't think I will lie in politics. Just to welcome Barrow there after the $45 million.
Wow.
I'm not saying government is different from.
I understand.
I'm not going to call names, but they all know. How do you go and find that lady? He need a hospital.
Wow.
You know, a good healthcare system. I don't because of I'm not saying government, MPP.
Yeah.
But MPP is the ruling party. You understand? They are in the ruling party. I think they should have the mercy.
Maybe their contribution, but only
whatsoever contribution. So, if we say it is partisan political, this is the connection. You understand? That is the connection. So, this is supposed to have been providing solutions. But instead of solution, I will collect so because one, Jimbo there's a VAT, value added tax bill. In fact, we bring I think that guy is off. I'm sorry to use the word guy.
So yeah, so Lulu, you can actually, what's your take on the president's talking on Monday, inshallah? Do you share a similar sentiment with Haji Suwaneh at some point?
And I can tell you the difference. In 2016, Jambe Ulta kate campagne okay. Ate menke o kanyantale pour molie quartier dia. The effect of it in ataka boyndi.
Wow.
You know, mol kala fele keje ni molie chokinya asot. Niti je ita understand. Do bije ni kay ko president nyanta na la jak. Na da samata ni konton wa fat. Laftala ay taraje ka fokono. President nataja wo damma ka tinna ko dol ka wulle nyinga e mul nya soto la ike fasa ike soto politiko ba ko no ha bo mo be man sakunda e bela fela ye meje la mul yesia politiko ba ko no le wote baynola ni opposition ko itol man la fi wala itol ni bije ite wakela ya tara ya jibe be politiko la karola ya lon jang ka politiko ke nyamen afatata ko banku dol you know nyanta ke la based on politics policies woto doibe mansakunda be tarla mansakunda beta kumate kering ku jamate kering kamul kuning kamul karandi doima menke nyimbanko solutions ya ma constitution bang agriculture na fisheries ya be kashajan bari mona de nak mol boka carte di politigo kana je doronko doke nyimbanko ka keten defum tol fana mbake wala nya abuka woko nyama iba jibe la mol lafta menna andung ni ko nafati je nafabe je dolbi je turu mit the people to ifintita afo kon lafta nyina nu lafta menna president ya kel wala ila ala mansa kunda akele inauguration ke be katal ibe ma soto no mu tonyale amanke ko president ko dole babago kono atata dawda ni mol ko lafta nyina de atesa de bani director katara jele permanent secretary katara jele an wolbi jele saferola mol lafta menna andu wolle nyanta kadundi la budgetol kono kaje ko kodo na di tay dol fana yeta pour ka wol implement misal fe minister of health bijele o ila permanent secretary la director wolle bije mol kam même fo ndol man la pitano soto manyin soto wolle nyanta wol be no down la hani la député minul bije nyin kusiva nyanta ka sambale tu député bu ngoto pour ka kacha bari kam même fo edoro ajibe sango sang mol ka lafale abukatala woka me yitandi mansakunda la karola nafa bijele impact bijele politically socially ani molla chokinyoya numbers ni mbukatala aka siale mol kamenki journalist jama bijele wol katatol wol vanansa fa ko serunde la sia mol benu nyame di siale mol siat they can make comparison kuma dol men ka fo itol katara jele ka mabe itol le katina mol ka moy minul mantato ka moy kaje membe keri wodulalto sa ni opposition ko ke wonyanta tulaje is to the advantage bari ni aje di kumben ko ateba kala kadde paso nyin lafa it is to his advantage
Wow.
nyinne be keri ku katanti
Okay. Yes. Wala mto nyari time o yen so nyina la jang bari nyamalanta long haji ila brother sol lately ngaje ko young just trolling at Talib. I mean, Facebook several bekela kai handi ko, you know, he's inspiring Talib in so many ways. And Jamal Fanko, he should have focused his energy on how to help Dabo win come 2026 presidential election. When you kunna the youngs learning bantering with Talib and all that, bawo mbuka Talib la interview jibele, but mbuka la safari je Facebook or but young ko bamiya lang kafako, he's not just an ordinary guy. I mean, West Coast la mayor, I mean, Kiamano, you know. So it as a politician, I mean, what is your honest opinion? I mean, the young one, Jamali Ajafamka coming definitely is quite unethical of him, considering his status within the region and of course even at party level, you know.
But was he personal?
Of course, he said he inspired KMC.
Okay. It's KMC
and Talib is the Lord Mayor.
Yes, that doesn't.
Yes.
You know, one thing you should understand. I don't like personality attacks in politics. I don't even get myself close to it. But these are two biggest municipalities you're talking about, right? To inspire each other or to throw those kind of words on each other means to encourage each other.
Was that even necessary?
Of course, it's necessary. He's not saying my house is better than Talib's house. He's not saying Talib's house is ugly. He's saying KMC as a municipality. I'm Project Elements, so we did this and that. KMC also is doing this thing. And below the text, you see, he said job wreck.
But if never
job wreck doesn't mean that his Talib is going to
he
work
has never done this 3 months or 4 months ago.
What?
Until this, I mean, split happened, that's when he actually kept on.
If the split happened, that does not make people enemies.
Absolutely.
He's not sending a word of enviness. He's sending a word of challenging.
sort of a defante at some point.
That's not defante. It's left to
That's what means, that's how many
for me,
people see it.
Yes,
Anyway.
for many, but for me, I'm not seen as defante. I'm seen as I'm a leader. You are a leader. I want to challenge you.
Wow.
Because we are all servants. If I challenge you on that side, in fact, you should not take it personal. You should be also committed that, in fact, I'll do more.
But in fact,
I will do more for my people.
Political commentators has it that, in fact, if it's about inspiration, then Talib also inspired KMC, I mean, Birkam and Malik Tingi and all that.
That should be the response.
So, but
that should be the response.
That's important considering what is at stake
it's very, very,
2026.
No, 2026, that's about Barrow. This is about two elected, two elected mayors.
Y'all government in waiting. Both Talib and of course,
am I doing it?
And of course, the BAC.
Am I doing it?
So I think, like you said, your focus will be Barrow.
No, but am I doing it?
You're not doing it.
Is Dabo doing it?
Not.
Who is Yankuba? Is Yankuba not a chairperson?
Of course.
Is Talib not a chairperson?
A mayor, yes.
Is there a mandate? Are there a mandate for President Barrow or mandate for the people of KMC and West Coast?
All oppositions are government in waiting.
These are already governments at the local level.
Yeah, at local level.
They are already governments at the local level.
Exactly. But
and they are not throwing these jabs against each other to anyway belittle each other, but throwing each other these words to challenge each other to deliver more for their people.
But are they not delivering though?
No, it depends on how people interpret this thing. But for me, I think I will go against personal attacks. And Yankuba knows that one.
Do you agree with Yankuba?
No, I'm not saying I agree with him. That whether he said he did this thing, because I don't know what he did in KMC that Talib did not did. West Coast, what Talib has not done here. I'm not saying on that part. Okay. But I'm saying these are two people elected in power trying to challenge each other to deliver more for their people. So that should not be personal. If Yankuba went personal against Talib, I face Yankuba and I told him. I was on TV. Professor Dodou was there.
Wow.
A similar thing happened. I differ. My opinion is my opinion, but what I believe is, as long as it is not personal, it is about KMC and Brikama Area Council. These are two leaders that's supposed to inspire us, the young people. That when you are in these positions, deliver, work. I'm not saying Talib is not working, but if Yankuba did so, I know Talib have a better way to respond, and he's never going to take it personal, because Yankuba was not personal. So us the followers, why are we turning to be a defante? Why?
You cannot control people's opinion.
Yeah, but then this is somebody who think that his municipality did something. Somebody also is doing a similar thing, and he wanted to challenge the person more because he said he's going to even do more to get the other municipality busy.
Okay.
So in whose interest? Me and you, because we are the ultimate beneficiaries of their projects. Okay. So when they challenge each other, I think that one's supposed to be commendable. Let's not us at the grassroots take it personal.
In a more professional way. But regardless,
was there any abusive words?
Not really. But what I'm saying is considering
because I just the style of politics he did there, he means that Talib has done or financed a community football. I think so. So he's referring to Talib his initiative that I have inspired.
Well, if there is inspiration, perhaps maybe Talib inspired them, because Talib spent more years.
What is
but now anyway.
No, but the word like let's say this is a saying that goes. Ask yourself what you can do for your country, but not what your country has done for you. Not so.
Yes.
Am I the one who uttered this word?
Well, why can't you challenge the central government?
No, these are local government labels who have the mandatory to deliver for their people.
Okay.
He's not comparing Talib to Bao.
Anyway,
he's not comparing Talib to American government. He's comparing Talib municipality to his own Brikama Area Council. These are two the same issues under an act that is governed by the local government act. So the mandate they have, if they challenge each other on that, I and you are the ultimate beneficiaries of that one. So let them challenge each other so that we keep benefiting.
Thank you so much. I mean, Dodou Jah, just few seconds. What is your take on that? I mean, then you have to show it. So time begin.
I wouldn't say they have to challenge it. Instead, Yang should be complimenting Talib. Talib should be complimenting Yangs. They're both opposition. Even though Talib is no more with the UDP. Challenge should be towards from the opposition to the government to the opposition. Like I said, you're in, I'm waiting. So when you're out, I want to be there. That's where the challenge should be, but more of a compliment. Now, if you're saying you're trying to inspire somebody, have they not done it before? Of course they did. They did. You've just started. You've not spent many years in there compared to somebody who's doing a second time. Well, it's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't want to make any judgments. But what I would say, there's no time. It's let them focus on serving the people, complementing each other rather than challenging each other.
Wow. Thank you so much. Well, actually, that brought us to the end of this program. But jangan mira rongal fanan tentongal jay. I mean, haya pause aning Dodou Jah aning Adam makasubadrong. I'll say sarol di in few seconds and we wrap it up, inshallah.
Adam, you are not blessed there. You are not part of the conversation much, and I follow your stories a lot, Anyway, but that's it. The viewers, nibe kontong nibe, and I'll take me some brother Dodou, ato munkar momalti. Whenever we met, I learned a lot from him, and I have to thank him for definitely getting young people like us at where we are. I can say he contributed because ikakaram moment blokola definitely I contributed a lot. Atel ben fana kan ibadjang ala baraka bake melka libero kan la mo roke fana salon ko banku do gol tim fana man dia mo jang ko telenga londo so mo beti baraka dia mo ko ala intelel harje ko asijang den na miralu ani lon kan ben na patrol nin banko be mento na fo atana sila mo so mat na kapala opinion do sin mata yo opinions mata a lot. So thank you so much for having me here.
Abarka bage haye an now to Dodou Jah fanan sala sarodi janne
bal tentula bal jeyla ni jiberla be dawada programme wala kanontel numbe haji fanan jeyla fondin ko lo mialo ka banko kan ya kumandi dawda haji bije ya nyinin ka femo fenna buka sila pour kafo a je nyame ala miro menta ba fala ate ala problem tije jumale be siring wala jumale be la moyrola hanyita be men ando be men nole fana ala mo momenti fo ise son wala ka technician ol beten to kal jayi fa wati kote inshallah.
Abarka bage Dodou. And now to Adam makasuban na Chinese malong. Ya China malong ino mbara.
Chinchon.
Thank you, Modu, and thank you to Dodou Jah and Haji for honoring this invitation. And thank you to our viewers. Till next week, and then we'll be back here.
Inshallah. Ala barka bage wala mtonya de bi ay to man kafuno te because class la sola na le na bial ma jamba to man about next week inshallah rabbi. Ka fulal fi jan inshallah ka falu don ala barka bage le continue ka Gambian Talents TV je ko arane ko tan ala ki ala barka bage.
Apacheki Nyancho Moka moile barabu kadomo Dima sadia tuliye kani madam Makamulim Kibar lebenda barabu kadomo baba Dima katele tulolo inna baba Wasintin state nkoluko Ikomu Nkoluko Ikomu Wasintin state nkoluko Ikomu Nkoluko Ikomu Sa apply no kani atare man tara do kola Ikomu Ibe do kola Foy man tara do kola Working family task credit go empele mesilo kan katanyining Signing amoy signing ya moy fanay wuli ya tanyining Sibe sito wuli efisiate ko nibe wasentim bankoka Kairo na tay konko bayla wasino babule tanyining February 1st la bela tila na mugudo wasentim bankoka Na modila la siyade janno Bani nyul manka Fali malonko Nyul be ma koy rolela Fali malonko Nyul be ma rolela Fali malon Nyul be ma koy rolela Fali malonko Nyul be ma rolela Washington State Yekibaro le natalma Oh be jambaro lela Washington State Yekibaro le natalma Be jambaro lela Kodo kulalu Na jambaro lu Malambalu Ibato lela Kodo kulalu Na jambaro lu Malambalu Ibato lela Washington West Africa Sentankoli Kolaboy Ikona a blessing never Working families that's craving sanyini Ikona a blessing munasimi never Working families that's craving sanyini Manke don toro tiborola soya tanyini Kila no science yena mo kanin science miliardo ku 2022 wala baso kala science hani dora kirinde do ku ngoza za daga science manza kundala na mo bunda sartol dundile science ikonga na ga dundi juna famfana sa soto science wuliye katoke ngoza soto jan science local na mo kanin bunda wasintim banko na se fo nyuru bela sontala science this one is fine nindo ni wondo man killing ko man sakundala federal government nindo na science this one is fine Timandi, niela sato timandi, timandi, niela sato timandi, sa soto keno, minka nyanta dola, wuli kilinge me fulola, ba timandi, timandi, la sotto timandi iko timandi isa sotto kenno min kanyanta dola wala kilin keme fulola baba timandi makamalem makamalem kula kaito tebulu ma aplano wa wangolu kontak babanko baba wa osnyala molu wa wak alikana silla la kulo malbe kantabine wa wangolu mbana Washington State yekibarole na tanma bejambarole la Washington State yekibarole na tanma baba bejambarole la kodo kulalu na jambarolu malambalu ibatole la kodo kulalu na jambarolu